Good morning. It is day 10. So, morning thought. Same morning thought happened. So, before I went to bed, I said out loud, after my alarm goes off, I will get up. And it was the first thing that popped into my head as soon as my alarm went off. However, I still snoozed for about an hour, and partly because I worked out yesterday and it's a pretty intense one, so a little sore, but that's also an excuse. So one of the things in the book Atomic Habits, the author says that life happens and there's going to be times that things come up in life and you miss your habit or you miss your routine, and that's okay. If it happens twice, that's when it starts to become a habit. So I have to say, since generally snoozing my phone, my alarm, is a bad habit, that's something that needs to work on, because he talks about how, ways in which you can create a habit, and also how you can do the inverse of the laws to decrease a bad habit. So I just finished the book last night, wrote down a lot of notes so I can go back and look at it. And he also references going online to print out templates. So that's cool. If you have access to the printer, you can print it out. If not, and you can listen to the book, you can kind of write down the things that he says and then just apply them. It takes a little bit more work, but also it's, what do you want to do? Are you willing to do that or not? Again, is it kind of like a New Year's resolution where you say you're going to do something but you don't do it? And if it seems like you're unable to be consistent with it, how can you break it down? So depending on what your habit is, if you feel like you don't have time or things just keep getting in the way, it's not about the result of the end goal, it's about the system. So if it's difficult, or there are too many things that are on your plate, then make it a smaller goal, smaller habit, right? So I'm going to go back to I'm going to say the same thing with like working out. After I make my coffee, I'll do 2 push-ups. I say coffee because I drink coffee, but anything else that you do. BJ Fogg, who does Tiny Habits, his example is after he uses the restroom, he does 2 push-ups. Now he says he only does that in his home because it's a little more cleaner. So he uses the restroom, does 2 push-ups, washes his hands. But he only does 2. And it's because 2 push-ups for him is easy and sustainable. It's not 100 push-ups a day. Maybe you get there, maybe that's the goal. Your goal is I want to do 100 push-ups a day. And you start off with 2, right? You want to build up that habit. So, life's going to get in the way. There's going to be a lot of stressors and excuses we have. So, don't let your excuses win. Be consistent. And if it's difficult, make it smaller. Make it smaller until it's a habit you do. every day, or maybe it's just 3 days a week, or like for me with walking, if you're like, oh, 20 minutes, half an hour, that's a lot. Go out and walk for 2 minutes a day, right? Make it small. And then as you increase, you can increase the time, decrease the days. You can play around with a lot of things. You just gotta sit down and see what you're willing to do to put in the work and stay consistent.